Good morning and welcome to an end of January morning motivation. My name is Dan and thanks for joining me. I've got a good one for you today. The theme of what I want to talk about is if you think it's impossible, it's not. And to go down that road, I want to share a story that is one of my all-time favorite stories. And it's the story of Rich DeVos. Rich DeVos used to be the owner of the Orlando Magic NBA franchise. And he started and ran a company by the name of Amway, which was a multi-level marketing company, and was quite a successful businessman, good guy, hard worker, and had a great career. He's since passed away. But late in his career, he developed some heart complications. And he had a situation that could not be repaired. So he went on the list to receive what we would consider to be a massive change in life called a heart transplant. And he went on a list, and it took several months, and finally his name came up, and Rich got to go in and get ready and have the heart transplant. So they actually, think about this, they remove your heart and they put someone else's heart in your body. I can't imagine how hard that's got to be. But that being said, Rich went in and had his heart transplant, and it went according to plan. And he survived. Not everyone does, most do, but he survived. And a couple weeks after he recovered, he got together and had lunch with a woman who gave him her heart. Let that sink in for a second. I know what you're thinking. Dan, you couldn't have lunch with the woman who gave you her heart after she gave you her heart. That would be impossible. Well, let me tell you the story. So the woman involved had lung disease and needed a new set of lungs or she wasn't going to make it. And sometimes it's easier to receive a lung and a heart combination transplant instead of just lungs only. Your chance for survival are much higher. So this woman ultimately received a new heart and new lungs, and now her existing heart is left over. And that heart went to Rich. And about 3 weeks later, Rich got to have lunch with a woman who gave him her heart. And they became good friends. And I was just kind of thinking, wouldn't that be a good leverage point? Like, if I'm that woman, hey, Rich, I need a favor. And if he said, I don't have time, hey, I gave you my heart. I mean, come on, give me a break. But my point would be in this story that what seemingly would be impossible actually was a reality. So let me turn that story to you. I have a privilege of being a coach. I'm a leadership coach, and I've spent actually a couple decades walking alongside of leaders and encouraging their journey and trying to help them in the pursuit of their potential. And I do run into a subset of them that are a bit defeated and have heard some words or had some people or had some difficult experiences that have caused them to walk with a bit of a leadership limp. They don't quite believe in themselves as much anymore. They tend to doubt. They're a little on the defensive. Their inner theater does not play great movies all the time. They're in a state of withdrawal. And what I try to do, obviously, is encourage that journey. And I don't know where I've caught you today, but we're a month into a brand new year, right? And in a new year, we're talking about possibilities. But if you're feeling the lingering effects of anyone who's been difficult, challenging, less than supportive, not ideal, I have 3 words for you that I think we can deploy that will enable us to overcome. And the first one is to become wiser. Wisdom normally comes through adversity. I don't normally learn much when I'm winning. It's usually when things get hard. So you and I have an opportunity to become wiser. We also have an opportunity to become stronger. What's stronger mean? Well, based on what I've learned or been through or experienced, I have an opportunity to choose it and run with it in a way that I get better. There's probably some feedback in there I might be able to use. So I want to start with wiser. What can I learn? Stronger. How can I become better? Wiser, stronger, and then ultimately better. Like, okay, how can I come out of this a better person? And sometimes it's just recognizing that there's going to be a few people on our path that are not going to be good people. And we're just going to have to become wiser, stronger, and better in dealing with them. But I've got good news. Most people will be helpful, caring, happy that we win. And I would focus on continuing to build those kind of relationships. So to circle back to my story, if you think it's impossible, it's not. It was not impossible for Rich to develop a friendship with the woman who gave him her heart. And I would also say it's not at all impossible for you, regardless of whatever difficulty you might have gone through, even this month, January of 23, to become wiser. And in being wiser, I'll learn more. I'll be more battle tested, to become stronger, to choose to say, okay, I'm going to use this as an area, an opportunity for growth. And then better, what can I do to be more effective in my life and for those people around me? And in doing so, you will have turned the statement of impossible around, and it ultimately won't be. So your assignment for this week is to focus on 3 words: wiser, stronger, and better. Pleasure talking to you today. Have a great week.